By the time the office lights dimmed to their evening glow, Daniel Reyes was already exhausted. Not the kind that sleep fixes, but the kind that settles in your bones after years of doing everything alone. He was a single dad with a 5-year-old daughter named Lily, a mortgage that never rested, and a quiet promise to himself that he would not fail her the way life had tried to fail him. The dare started as a joke. It always did. Friday night. Break room. Half-eaten pizza. A few co-workers laughing too loudly after a long week. Someone mentioned how Daniel never joined happy hour anymore. Someone else teased that he barely noticed women. Then the name dropped into the room like a spark. Evelyn Hart. Their boss. The woman who ran the company with calm authority, sharp instincts, and a presence that made people sit straighter without knowing why. She was brilliant, distant, and rumored to be impossible to read. You wouldn't last 5 minutes alone with her, one coworker laughed. Another leaned in. I dare you to try. Daniel smiled politely and said nothing. He always said nothing. Because people did not know that Evelyn Hart noticed everything. That she noticed how he stayed late to finish work so others could leave early. That she noticed how he never complained when deadlines shifted. That she noticed the picture of a little girl taped inside his planner. What no one knew was that Evelyn had been waiting. The beginning of it was quiet. A request for Daniel to stay late one evening to help with a report. Then another night. Then conversations that drifted from work to life. She learned about Lily, about Daniel's wife who passed away during childbirth, about the way grief never truly leaves but learns to sit politely in the corner. Daniel learned that Evelyn grew up invisible in a crowded house. That success was the only way she ever felt seen. That she was tired of being admired from a distance and never chosen. One night, rain pressed against the windows as the building emptied. Daniel gathered his things, ready to leave, when her voice stopped him. Daniel. Sit. He did. She stood by the window, arms crossed, eyes reflecting city lights. When she turned, there was no boss in her posture. Only a woman who had waited long enough. I know about the dare, she said softly. His heart dropped. I never agreed to anything. I know, she replied. But I did. Silence stretched between them. Not awkward. Heavy. I'm tired of waiting, Evelyn said. What took you so long? Daniel swallowed. I didn't think someone like you would ever look at someone like me. She stepped closer. I have been looking at you since the day you asked for flexible hours so you could walk your daughter to school. He laughed once, breathless. I'm not who people expect. Neither am I. They did not rush. There was no drama, no firestorm. Just two people finally allowing themselves to stop pretending. That night was not about conquest or scandal. It was about warmth. About being seen. About the kind of closeness that feels earned. The middle of their story was complicated. Whispers at work. Judgment that followed them through hallways. Daniel worried constantly about Lily. About what it meant to bring someone new into her life. Evelyn worried about power, about perception, about whether love could survive scrutiny. One evening, Daniel nearly ended it. I don't want to be the reason people question you, he said, voice shaking. Or hurt my daughter. Evelyn knelt in front of him, hands steady. Love does not ask permission from fear. Weeks later, she met Lily. Nervous. Uncertain. Carrying a small stuffed rabbit as a peace offering. Lily studied her seriously, then smiled. You have kind eyes. Evelyn cried in the car afterward. The end came quietly too. Not with headlines or office gossip. But with a new beginning shaped by choice. Evelyn stepped down from directly overseeing Daniel's department. Not because she had to, but because she wanted their story to stand on its own. Daniel learned to let go of guilt and accept happiness without apology. Years later, they would laugh about the dare. About how something meant to embarrass him became the moment everything changed. Sometimes love does not arrive loudly. Sometimes it waits patiently until two tired hearts finally stop running. And when it does not ask what took so long. It simply says welcome home.